Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Homestead. It's time to process this firewood. If you're just joining us, last video we built a modification for our tractor, our Kubota BX, to move these logs around. So now what we're going to do, 4 feet is the perfect length. I want to have on-hand rounds because 4 feet, 16, 32, 48, I can get 3 pieces of production firewood to sell, or 2 24-inch logs for our outdoor boiler here. So I don't know what I'm gonna use this wood for yet. All I know is I need to get it out of the way. So I think decking it in 4-foot sections. This is what we did. We laid out some 4x4 cribbing here. I think it's wide enough where I can float over with the tractor and we can lay them 4 feet and stack them just so they're relatively speaking off the ground. It doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be pretty. We just got to get it out of the way because we got more coming. Eventually, I would love to have decked logs on hand, kind of let them dry out a little bit in log form. And then as we move wood out, we can pull wood and process it. We're slowly getting there. So anyways, let's get the saw, chainsaw chaps. We don't have a 4-foot marker, so we're gonna use good old-fashioned tape measure. And yeah, let's buck these up in a 4-foot lengths. Let's go get the tractor. Let's see if we can start staging them, bucking them, decking them, whatever you want to call it. So stick around, guys. Should be a great video. So some gnarly, ugly stuff, we're just gonna cut and toss right in our boiler wood pile, and we can process it here. But some nice, really straight logs here, like this birch, like this oak, that other birch, that oak. There's a couple big oaks. These are some really straight sections that will deck up nice. So that's kind of the idea. Obviously, offcuts like that, we can just doze right into the boiler pile. Offcuts like that. Ugly stuff like this first half, we're not going to make any good firewood out of that, so that'll be a boiler log. So we'll just dump it in our boiler pile here. So we're going to sort. It's going to be great. All right, folks, so what I'm doing with this pile, I don't know what I want to do yet. So like I said, I just need to move this wood. So this is birch. Birch is some premium stove wood, some of the best here in New Hampshire, obviously next to like oaks and stuff like that. I love the look of birch, I love the smell of birch, and I love splitting it. So anyways, I'm cutting off 4-foot logs here of this really straight birch. This is going to be production firewood. The really clean, straight stuff I'm going to use in the, we're going to call it production firewood rack. The twisted, gnarly, knotted, ugly stuff, why am I going to wrestle trying to split nice 16? Like this piece right here. This piece had so many knots on it. This is boiler wood. I just cut it less than 24 inches, enough to handle. I may split it once. I may not split it. It doesn't matter. But ugly pieces like you see here, I'm making boiler wood. It's oak. It's going to burn next year. There's no reason for me to wrestle with it to try to get a beautiful 16-inch piece of stove wood. So again, I'm just going through and sorting out and letting the pile kind of talk to me, if that makes sense. If the next load turns out to be all boiler wood, it's all boiler wood, so be it. If the next pile is really straight, clean wood, then it'll be production firewood. Who knows? Like that piece of birch I just cut off there, that'll probably boiler wood because I'm only going to get 1 or 2 sections out of it. This straight section here, I'm going to put into the production firewood pile. So I just kind of gauging and judging as I go. There's really no science to it. It doesn't matter if it's all boiler wood or if it's wood to sell, like you see in the background there. This piece I'm cutting here gets real gnarly as you go up, but there's a couple 4-foot nice lengths here that we'll put in the production rack. So again, I'm just letting the pile kind of speak to me. It doesn't matter where it goes. Either way, it's getting burned one way or the other, whether we sell it or we burn it ourselves. So this cut right here, this is a 4-foot length. I cut 2 production pieces here, 2 4-foot lengths, and then everything to the left where all the knots are is going to be boiler wood. It's that simple. I mean, I can't get any more simple than that. It's not a real science. Nice, clean, straight sections go in one pile. Ugly stuff goes for boiler wood. As I process the straight grain stuff, if I come over pieces with rot or they don't split nice, the hell, it's boiler wood. Doesn't matter to me. So let me show you this piece here. This piece was an absolute beast. was tempted to almost keep all the birch for myself. This wood burns. I don't get it often, so I'm tempted to keep it all, but we'll mix some into the wood to sell. All right, I think it's gonna be a lot of work, but I think we got a bunch of sections we can start our little collection here. Some of these bigger ones I know won't fit on the splitter. We're just gonna move aside. Again, we just need to make some space. So let's go get the kabota and we'll start dozing some logs around. Yeah, cool. Let's do it. People say I talk too much during videos, so I'm going to do another voiceover. I try to walk a fine line. Some people like to hear the tractor. Some people like to hear the chainsaws. Truthfully, some people don't like to hear anybody talking. I don't know. It depends. But anyways, these bucket forks have been, or I call them bucket extensions, have been slick. They work really good. They're kind of like, I don't know how to use the term. Like right here, I'm just using it and just using it as almost like a field goal. Like it keeps the wood in the bucket area. I don't know how to describe it, but it works pretty good. You got to be careful when you're working a pile like this. That log came down and slammed the frame. As you can tell, I'm missing my hood. The hood finally split in half. If you can guess what happened, yes, I dropped the log on it. This was a couple weeks ago. I was doing something before I built the extensions, but now that we got a lot of that boiler wood packed, we're loading up the production firewood here. As you can see, every piece here is clean, straight, 4 feet. I mentioned this at the end. 5 feet would have been easier to handle because our bucket forks, whatever you want to call them, are just under 4 feet, so it's got to be almost perfect. Show you this because this worked out perfect. Here's a 5-foot log. This is probably what I should have done them all at. I thought in my mind 4 feet, oh, makes sense, 2 24s or 3 16s, but the bucket extensions are like just under 4 feet. It's like 40 inches the bucket extensions are. So this log was a little bit longer, super, super easy to move around. The minute I picked this one up, I'm like, oh, dang, I should have done all these a little bit longer than 4 feet. 5 feet is going to be the number going forward. 5-foot log will be 3 boiler sections, or it'll give me 16, 32, 48. It'll give me 4 sections of production wood or 3 sections of boiler wood. So, yeah, I can't be happier. The forks are working great. It kind of helps too. Like normally this piece would fall out of the bucket, but since it's resting on the left and right fork extension there, it's not going anywhere. us a few hours to process this wood. So, like pieces like this, ugly, fat sticks like that, that's just going to be boiler wood. Yeah, it took a while to get the hang of it, but it was really great. Like, look at this here. I grabbed a couple with that branch on it, whatever, no big deal. I come over, dump it right in the pile. We'll buck it up literally as is, where it lays. No issues there at all. So it took a little bit of getting used to. There is a little bit of a learning curve. See, right there is awesome. I hooked it with the bucket fork, and then I was able to re-dose it into the pile. Sometimes I got picky. I could have just left it the first time, but really getting the hang of the extensions here. I really got to put a front grill on this machine. I am going to send something through the front of this friggin' motor on this thing. I've come close. As you can see, I'm rocking no hood as it is, so I'm definitely going to build something that's going to protect the front of the machine. We ended up processing in the pile, and I think it maybe went over a couple hours, but we're in no rush. There's absolutely no rush. We're really good here. No rush. All right, folks, look at that. All cleaned up. We managed to get it situated before the ground started thawing here. But yeah, needless to say, this is all boiler wood. We got the splitter here. I kind of dozed these chunks onto the pile because it's way easier to cut a log right here than it is on the ground. So this is all boiler wood. Again, gnarly, twisted, knotted stuff that I'm not going to bother trying to make some nice production firewood. Like, this is the piece that's got metal in it. It's got the cable sticking out of it. We'll cut it a couple times, split it once. Same thing, that really long twisted one. Could I make some firewood out of it? Sure, but we need some boiler wood as it is. Stuff like this, a couple knots. I'll run that through the splitter once. Be good to roll. Some birch, because I like to burn birch. But here is our money wood. This is gonna be our production firewood to sell. We started out with a really nice 4-foot sections, and then I realized the bucket forks we put on, the fork extensions, are just under 4 feet, so I have to pick the logs up perfectly. 5 feet would have been better. Hey, you live and you learn. But we have anywhere from 4 to 5 foot, 6 foot sections here. Again, oak, birch, maple. This is all gonna be split wood to sell. We're decking it up. A couple nice pieces of birch here. Some of these some offcuts will end up for boiler wood, but needless to say, I don't know if there's a cord there. I doubt it, maybe half cord. But anyways, we're gonna do another row here, probably 5 foot lengths of the next load, but it's working out great, folks. I couldn't be happier. The extensions on the forks work great. We have wood decked up. Now, it's not gonna dry, obviously, but if it sits here for 6 months before we even process it to replace what's over there, I'm not mad at all. And our boiler wood mountain keeps growing, so I couldn't be happier. Let me know what you guys wanna see. If you guys wanna see kind of how I process boiler wood versus process stove wood, let me know. But anyways, yeah, just feel free to leave a comment. God bless. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think. Yeah, we're getting buried here in firewood, and it's not a bad thing. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think. God bless. And yeah, like I always say, we'll see you guys out in the woods.